The 2024 presidential election is still ongoing as far as who will be Trump's vice presidential pick. Now, in the previous video, I profiled, or I did a list of individuals who were vying to be Trump's number two. Last month, we talked about Tim Scott and all the shameless buck dancing and butter biscuit eating he was doing for the Republicans. So we go from one resident coon in Tim Scott to another resident coon in Byron Donalds. All right. Now, Byron Donalds has been plastered all over the mainstream media, whether it be on NBC, Fox, OAN, Newsmax, you name it, he's been at it. And he's been towing the line, carrying water for the orange man. Now, how do we even get to this point? Why is Byron Donalds even in our midst? What propped up this useful village idiot to the mainstream political discourse? So you got to go back to October of last year, where you had Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy get into their little spat, right? And without drawing this out or whatever like that, basically Matt Gaetz got pissed that Kevin McCarthy ordered an ethics investigation into his alleged sex trafficking, right? What's up, Rasheed Holmes? Now, the mainstream media was telling you that, oh, he broke the terms and conditions of the agreement that made him House Speaker. That was the mainstream media was telling you, and it stemmed from the bipartisan agreement to fund money so that way the government don't shut down. That's what the mainstream media was telling you. But what was going on behind the scene was Matt Gaetz had a hair up his ass because Kevin McCarthy, who was then speaker at the time, ordered an ethics investigation into alleged sex trafficking. So meanwhile, that sex trafficking investigation was going on. His homeboy Joe Greenberg down in Florida is doing time in the bean for that shit, right? So anyway, Matt Gaetz gets a hair up his ass. He calls for a motion to vacate. Kevin McCarthy gets ousted, and after Kevin McCarthy gets ousted, the search for a new speaker begins. Eventually, we landed on Mike Johnson, uber conservative out of Louisiana. But during that time, you had this man's name get thrown out there. Now, who threw Byron Donalds' name out there, you ask? Well, it was none other than Matt Gaetz. He actually got 20 votes to become Speaker of the House. Now, anytime you get endorsements from Matt Gaetz and that porn star reject, Lauren Boebert, you know you got to be one of the slimiest individuals out there. And this man is a fucking crook. He's a slimy ass individual. He's nothing more than a self-serving professional bullshit artist, right? How dare you call yourself speaking for the black community? You don't speak for the black community when you've been indulging yourself in Miracle Whip for the last 20 years. Fuck out of here, dude. Anyway, that's how Byron Donalds' name came into the discourse. Now Trump is running to become the president again, and Trump has every incentive to become president again. And I told y'all in a previous video I did that he is treating this like how he ran that show, The Apprentice. Only he's just doing it in the political realm. So Byron Donalds is out of Florida. Trump got Mar-a-Lago out of Florida. That's where that ranch is or whatever. And you know, in Trump's infinite wisdom, well, he got his last name is my first name. So let's go ahead and put him up there as one of my picks. He's very articulate, and he will definitely toe the line for me. And Byron Donalds has toed the line 100%. He is a bona fide buck dancing sellout. Now, many of y'all may not know this about him. This man pleaded guilty to a felony bribery charge as part of a scheme to defraud a bank. Charge that was mysteriously expunged when he entered the Florida House, where he chaired the Insurance and Banking Subcommittee. Yeah, amazing how that works. Amazing. Pretty astonishing. But yeah, you're a clown. Now, let's listen to some of Byron Donalds' takes. Right? Fair use. And all the videos I'm going to play, fair use. First up, let's talk about the interaction he had with Kristen Welker on NBC's Meet the Press. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the video. DJ, spin that shit.
The number one reason why minority voters in our country want to support Donald Trump is because he did the job of president. He did a great job as president. Our country was secure. The economy was great. These are all things that Donald Trump talked about Friday night. He also did talk about the indictments. What Americans don't want to see, especially black Americans and anybody else, they don't want to see a politicized Justice Department. They don't want to see a two-tier system of justice. They want justice to be followed. They want Lady Justice to be blind. That's what the American people want. That's what black voters want. That's what everybody wants.
Okay. So first things first, right? So let me ask you a question there, Republican resident coon extraordinaire. If Donald Trump did such a great job as president, why he got voted out? What's up, Old Head Podcast? Salute to my man, T. Price in the building. If he did such an amazing job as president, why he get voted out? Answer that, you coon ass nigga. Anyway, what's up, Day Love? Salute to my sister in the building. For real. Answer that question. And then you sitting up here talking about the border was secure. The border was not secure in 2017. It wasn't. And how can you say that when migrants and drugs and all that is coming through from planes, trains, and automobiles, but the border was secure? The fuck out of here, dude. You sitting up here telling lies on TV. So answer those questions right there. If he did such a great job as president, why did he get voted out? Second question. Why was the border not secure in 2017 when you guys campaigned your asses off because of all these drugs and all this crime and all this other stuff that was going on, right? Third thing. You sitting there talking about a two-tier justice system. Do you realize black folks who have the same skin color as you do, right? Maybe you were so out of touch with that white wife you got that you really don't see what the fuck's going on. Do you know that black folks are still going to jail unjustly for crimes they didn't commit? Meanwhile, we can have white supremacists do all kinds of stuff, whether it be getting involved in disgusting sexual assaults to outright fraud, and they get slaps on the wrist all the time. But black folks get crimes projected onto them. They out here rotting in prison for the rest of their life. Now, you supposed to be this man of, honor and integrity, even though you're a fraudster, but you portray yourself as a man of honor and integrity, and you call yourself speaking for the black community. How come you and that other resident coon, Tim Scott, didn't put your heads together, right? And come up with some legislature, or because y'all are the only resident buck dancers. Matter of fact, I saw you Legion of Bootlicks in a picture yesterday. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all. Y'all gonna see. That's right there. You know what I'm saying? The Justice League of Bootlicks, or the Legion of Bootlicks, or the Butter Brisket Brigade, whatever you want to call it. But this is the individuals who's supposed to be representing a black community in Congress on the Republican side. Now, I don't know who the fuck that individual is on the far left. Google couldn't even translate it. But this is the guy next to him is Burgess Owens out of Utah. We all know but that chocolate milk dud head having ass motherfucker Tim Scott, aka Mushmouth. This other guy with his chest poked out like a goddamn, like he got big titties and drag. This guy is Wesley something. I can't remember his first name. But his last name is Wesley something. He's out of Texas. Just know that motherfucker out of Texas. And last but not least, Byron Donald's running right here with that goddamn suit jacket on, with that button holding on for dear life. Hopefully that goddamn, when that button gets released, it don't hit me in the eye. Shit. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, these jackasses ain't trying to do nothing for the black community at all. He ain't trying to do nothing. This one sit here and toe the line for Trump. You ain't no different than the people on the Democratic side. You ain't no different than old nigga Jim Clyburn. You ain't no different than Hakeem Jeffries, a.k.a. Obama 2.0. You ain't no different than Jasmine Crockett. Neither one of y'all ain't trying to uplift the black community. You know why? Because you all bought and paid for. As long as you willing to carry that water and tour that line and suck that ass, right? Because we all know DC is a cesspool for all kinds of raunchy activities that be going on. As long as you willing to take your ass to K Street and shake your ass all over the yard for some campaign cash, you will do so. You will sit on that telephone for hours on end, making phone calls to these donors out here, and you will parade your asses around town just for a check. They will give you your ass to wherever, talking to whoever about whatever to get you a check. Or sell it ass motherfucker. Make me sick. This is what you do, Byron Donalds. No different than your counterpart, Tim Scott. This is you right there. Put them tap shoes on, nigga. Now, I'm going to play the clip again. DJ, spin that shit.
The number one reason why minority voters in our country want to support Donald Trump is because he did the job of president. He did a great job as president. Our country was secure. The economy was great. These are all things that Donald Trump talked about Friday night. He also did talk about the indictments. What Americans don't want to see, especially black Americans and anybody else, they don't want to see a politicized Justice Department. They don't want to see a two-tier system of justice. They want justice to be followed. They want Lady Justice to be blind. That's what the American people want. That's what black voters want. That's what everybody wants.
How do you know what black voters want, huh? We want reparations. We want a crime bill. We want qualified immunity to end. You ain't saying none of that. You talk about a two-tier justice system. We want just Lady Justice to be blind. The fuck out of here. You nobody talk like that. What black person you know talks like that? Hey, we want Lady Justice to be blind. What black person you know talks like that? Hell, your black Poindexters don't talk like that. Lady Justice to be blind. That ranks up there with, when Michael Irvin had those false convictions come up to him when he was at the Marriott and out in Arizona, and he allegedly, the Marriott made some allegation that Michael Irvin walked up to some white woman and said, "Hey, do you know what it's like to have a big black man inside of you?" Nobody talks like that. The fuck, the fuck out of here, dude. For real. Now that interview he did with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press, that came on the heels of Trump making some controversial statements about black folks at a bust this shit out, a Black Conservative Federation gala down in Columbia, South Carolina last week. And he's been on this widespread media tour to try to clean up the mess Donald Trump made in light of his statements. When you factor in the recent events with Trump with SneakerCon, when he was charging like $400 for some shoes that as soon as water hit it, it's going to start back talking, right? So you factor that in. And then you factor in like I said, the Black Conservative Federation Gala, where he's sitting up there talking about all the indictments he's been involved in and all the cases that he's involved in, and that somehow the black community is going to rally behind Trump because he's a criminal just like we are. And who's been on the media tour to try to clean up the stuff that Donald Trump was saying? This coon-ass motherfucker right here. Or Tim Scott. Tim Scott, I forget what Trump did to you, where he basically emasculated you in front of the whole goddamn country. Last week? It was either last week or a week and a half ago. They were in they were in Greenville, South Carolina. Trump held a town hall with that Desperate Housewives reject and Laura Ingraham. Trump told Tim Scott to his face, "You were more of a asset to my campaign than you were to your own." Need proof? I got the proof. DJ, spin that shit.
Meanwhile, we're getting a better idea of who the former president is considering to be his next vice president. During a Fox News town hall in Greenville, Mr. Trump said South Carolina Senator Tim Scott has all the qualities he's looking for in a running mate.
I have to say, this is in a very positive way, Tim Scott. He has been much better for me than he was for himself.
The former president will be at Winthrop Coliseum in Rock Hill Friday for a Get Out the Vote rally. We will be there, and we'll have coverage throughout the day right here on WCNC Charlotte.
That was Tim Scott for you. That's Tim Scott for you. But anyway, back to this clown, Byron Donalds. Now, he been, like I tell you, he's been on the media tour to try to, carry water for the orange man. I got another clip for you. DJ, spin that
I think,
shit.
look, our country, in spite of the problems that have been caused by Joe Biden and the Democrats, we have a great country. I just want to do everything I can to help get our country back on track. That's why I ran for Congress. That's why I serve in the House of Representatives today, because I believe the best years of our country are ahead of us. It'd be an honor to serve in any capacity to make sure that we're back to America First principles.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You talk about America first, right? Okay, so how come, and this is not to support or defend the Democrats, how come whenever there's a bill that comes to the floor, you're one of the ones that votes against it because it says Democrat on it? Why? So let me get this straight, because you practice the art of try to take both sides of the equation, or try to take all sides of the equation, or try to take both sides of the argument. So let me get this straight. You bring your fat coon ass on TV because you look like you had one too many cartons of soft serve ice cream there, Byron Donalds. You bring your ass on TV and you start running your mouth about, oh, what the Democrats is doing and what the and you guys is out here trying to fight the good fight. But every time you turn your head, anytime there's a bill that comes on the floor for a vote, you're one of the ones that vote against it. And then, in your infinite wisdom, not only you vote against the bill, but then you would parade yourself around other media outlets because you treat the people who support you as marks. You go on Fox News or OAN and Newsmax and rather right-wing nut toilet, and you sit up there and lie on TV about whatever, about whoever, and then you've done nothing about it. And then you will go on the campaign trail proclaiming that you're fighting the good fight, but you're sitting as an active congressman not doing shit. And this is how people grift. This is the grift. This is the game that gets played. So you talk about transparency, right? Let's talk about transparency for a second there, Byron Donalds. Now, once again, this is not to support or defend the Democrats, right? Let's talk about crackhead Hunter Biden, right? Y'all say y'all had all these evidence against him. Hunter Biden has admitted that he is a crackhead, right? Nothing wrong with that, right? We've seen the evidence on that video of him having a weight scale with crack and dirty leopard print on the floor. Probably that same dirty leopard print underwear he had when he got done fucking a prostitute for $20 and some rocks. I don't know. I'm just speculating. So you bring this guy in and y'all grill him for, I don't know, for however long about whatever in a closed door meeting. Now, how the hell is that transparency? How's that transparency? And then once you come out this closed door meeting, you don't tell us the facts. You sit up here and make up false narratives against the guy when there's all this other stuff we could have gotten Hunter Biden on. Your boy Matt Gaetz sitting up there talking about is he a crackhead. Now, Matt Gaetz is the last person to be asking anybody about crack and women and stuff like that, especially considering he like them under the age of 18. Allegedly. And I do stress the word allegedly. So what are you talking about, Byron? You're a fucking clown, dude. But then again, you have no problem being the clown show. Just like Tim Scott. You will sit up there and let these white supremacists emasculate you, take your manhood. You're supposed to be some big burly dude or whatever like that. And they'll sit up there and chop off your balls and serve it to you. And you will have absolutely no issue with that. I got more. A couple land in this thing. I got a lot of more. DJ, spin that shit.
I find it to just be insane. I find it to be gaslighting black people and Hispanic people in our country. I find it to be devoid of facts. Michael Cohen obviously has never been to a Trump rally and actually talked to Trump voters. That is a lie. It is disgusting. Are we even just having this conversation? Let me tell you the truth. People who are MAGA Republicans, they just want the country to follow the law. They want the country to follow the Constitution. They want our leaders to put America first, not last. They actually want sound money. They want low inflation. They want a secure border, and yeah, they want to be respected across the globe. They don't want to live under a president like Joe Biden, who has a terrible foreign policy that has put our men and women overseas at risk, that is putting our allies at risk. MAGA Republicans want a great America. They don't want a fleeting America. They don't want America in decline. That is what the Democrat Party has brought us. That's the crazy progressive agenda from the radical left. The same radical agenda that would have us choose Hamas Hamas over Israel. So whatever Michael Cohen wrote in his book, I really don't care because it makes no sense at all because those aren't the facts. I would invite him to come to any Trump rally he chooses. I'll walk side by side with him and then he can see what's really going on and stop putting out this foolishness.
No, if anybody's putting out foolishness, it's you, Byron Donalds. Are you that desperate to be Trump's VP? Are you that drunk in your own delusion to where you think in your own mind that you actually got a shot of becoming Trump's VP? That's why you sitting up here carrying water. You act like Simone Sanders when she was out here campaigning for Biden. Right? When Simone Sanders was lying for Joe Biden in regards to the 94 crime bill, that's you right now carrying water for Trump. So you speaking for MAGA Republicans now? You speaking for MAGA Republicans now? They don't even fucking like you. The only reason they so-called tolerate you is because you're campaigning for the orange man. That's the only reason why they're tolerating you right now. But don't worry, the train is never late. As soon as Donald Trump gets done with you, because eventually he will get done with you because he uses people. That's his MO. He uses people like how he uses a condom when it comes to fucking porn stars. Allegedly. As soon as he gets done dropping off his whatever, he's going to throw you in the trash. And as soon as you get thrown in the trash, then MAGA Republicans is going to turn on you. Did you not learn from Mike Pence? And he's whiter than a jar of helmets. And they wanted to hang him on January 6th. Oh, what's this? I was one of more than 100 Trump-loving, traitorous Republicans who voted against certified electors from Arizona and Pennsylvania in the 2020 election. I agree, or I spew Trump's big lie, but claim to be liberty. A liberty-loving patriot. I'm a member of the hard-right clown show known as the Republic House Freedom Caucus and want to shut down the DOJ and FBI to protect Trump's while I use fake evidence to try to impeach President Biden. While Americans died, I spoke out against the Maximus restrictions and mandates. I'm not, jabbed up and won't ever use a mask to protect others. Like a good House Negro or Republican, I'm a criminal. In 1997, I was arrested on drug dealing charges. In 2000, I pleaded guilty to a felony bribery charge as part of a scheme to defraud a bank. But the charges was expunged when I entered the Florida House. That is Byron Donalds for you in a nutshell. But you call yourself speaking for black people. How dare you? You don't speak for me. Your coon ass don't speak for me. You said to me what black people want while married to a white wife. The fuck out of here. You serious, dude? Are you serious? You didn't learn from Herman Cain? Herman Cain right now making Godfather's pieces in hell with his 999 plan. Allegedly. But you sitting up here being this fast talker Skywalker, acting like you got all the answers. Well, guess what, buddy? You dealt with the right one right here. Because as soon as you think you got all the answers, I'm going to change the questions. And see how you twist yourself into pretzels to get out whatever bullshit you got yourself in. See, for all you guys that might be new to my YouTube channel, right? I don't support Republicans. I don't support Democrats. As far as I'm concerned, they're different fangs on the same snake. Two sides of the same coin, different wings on the same bird. Whatever makes you big and sizzle, that's the principle right there. I go at both of them. Because this political system that we're in right now is very corrupt. And as long as we have money flowing in politics, we're going to continue to have sellouts who buy into the white supremacist concept. That's why we're going to have the Byron Donalds. That's why we're going to have the Burgess Owens. That's why we're going to have the Tim Scotts and the old nigga Jim Clyburns and the Hakeem Jeffries and Jasmine Crockett. Neither one are for the black community. Neither one. There are no winners in this scenario. There's only snakes, suckers, schemers, and scammers. And there's a grimy game played by slimy individuals. So no, I don't support neither party. As far as I'm concerned, until tangibles are brought on the ballot for the black community, you can kiss my ass on getting my vote. That's right. You can kiss my ass on getting my vote because I got better things to do with my time. Shit, on election day, I want to get bucket naked with a girl on election day. Shit. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, Byron Donalds is doing all this, and Donald Trump is not going to pick him. He's not going to pick him. Just like how he's not going to pick Tim Scott. He just uses them as pawns in his political chessboard. That's why they sit up here carrying the water. As far as I'm concerned, if you ask me who's going to be Trump's VP pick, it's going to be Tulsi Gabbard. That's the bet I'm making. If you want to know who I think is going to be Trump's VP, it's going to be Tulsi Gabbard. And how do I know, you ask? I don't fucking know. That's why I'm speculating. If I had to take a guess, playing Russian roulette, who's going to be Trump's VP is going to be Tulsi Gabbard. That's who I think is going to be. Could I be wrong in my assessment? Could I guess wrong? Hell yeah, I could guess wrong. If it ain't her, there's going to be Kristi Noem, the governor for South Dakota. But it will not be, what I know for a fact, it will not be Byron Donalds and it will not be Tim Scott. It won't be those two. One, is too early in the process. You got these guys out here carrying his water, and we're like 9 months away from the general election. Or actually 8 months away. I'm sorry, 8 months. Thought we were still in February, but we are in the eyes of March. We got 8 more months away from the general election. These guys is running their mouth like they got it in the bag. It's not going to be Byron Donalds. It's not going to be Tim Scott. And besides, Trump is a hoe, just like his counterpart Vince McMahon. Trump wants some eye candy running around. That's why it's either going to be out of Tulsi Gabbard or Kristi Noem, who's going to be his VP pick. He want to see eye candy. not two buck-ass sellouts that's going to lick the kiwi off his shoe. Guys, let me know what y'all think about this, man. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platform. Last but definitely not least, shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Ho!